Like this guys maybe I could have well, go me, that's not joke. Yes. I couldn't make it. Where is lunch?
As you're all aware, we are gathered here at Nakuru County. This is a Nashpai resort for a consultative meeting with the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. And the main agenda, of course, is the 9th Executive National County Coordinating Summit. However, I'm saddened to inform you that about the unfortunate death of 3 people following the collapse of 2 neighboring gold mine shafts that happened yesterday. That's on 9th of February 2023 in Shinyalu, sub-county of Kakamega County. The first shaft is alleged to have collapsed at around 1 a.m., while the second shaft collapsed at midday. That was yesterday. And on receiving the sad news, the county's disaster multi-sectorial team, led by my 2 executive members in charge of natural resources and health services, quickly convened at the sites and immediately started the rescue mission. The concerted efforts by this team managed to rescue 9 people alive. We rushed them to our health facilities. 6 went to the county referral hospital, 2 went to Shevia Hospital, and 1 at Mukumu Mission Hospital. Regrettably, by the time of this press briefing, 3 fatalities have been confirmed. 2 at the shaft sites, that is in Shinyalu, and 1 at the General Hospital while receiving specialized medical attention. It is believed that there were at least 13 people inside the 2 shafts at the time of the accidents, with the main, of course, shaft holding around 11 people. Only 1 person was rescued from the shaft, and that 2, as the other succumbed to death inside the tunnel. 2 are still feared, trapped in the main mine addict, and however, rescue missions are already ongoing. So far, 7 have been treated and discharged from health facilities, while 2 are critically injured and still under examination. It has been observed that buildings adjacent to the main shaft have developed notable cracks and pose further risks to our people as well as the properties around there. It has also been brought to my attention that the artisanal mining activities in Ikolomani and Shinyalu sub-counties have not been licensed, and therefore inspection of the shafts have not been undertaken by the Ministry of Mining and the Blue Economy. I am aware that we have legal issues surrounding the licensing of artisanal mining because the Acacia Exploration Kenya Limited, which transferred 100% of the issued shares to Shanda Gold Mauritius Limited unconditionally, had been granted mining right in areas where artisanal miners are operating, and therefore, as per Section 95, Subsection 2 of the Mining Act 2016, artisanal permits have not been granted. That's an issue that we are going to address, and of course I'll be giving you further guidance going forward. This is an issue that calls for urgent shareholders and stakeholders engagement between the two levels of government, bearing in mind that mining is domiciled in the national government, to ensure that people earn a decent living from the natural resources. I know right now from the royalties which are derived from the minings, the county is supposed to be getting 20%, and we are going to fast track now the legislation so that we make the mining actually commercialized, so that we address these artisanal mining that is causing a very big threat to our people. Fellow citizens, whereas gold mining contributes to the realization of my pillar number 2 on wealth creation for the people of Kakamega County, currently being a major economic activity for the residents, mainly in Kolomana and Shinyalu sub-counties, from approximately 15,000 people who directly depend on these artisanal mining activities. In view of the unfortunate happenings yesterday, where 3 people lost their lives and another 8 in search of this precious mineral, and in exercising my powers as the governor of Kakamega County, and remaining on course towards actualization of my pillar number 6 on good governance, I hereby direct as follows. That number 1, the Artisanal Mining Committee, together with the county disaster multi-sectoral team within 14 days, to conduct an audit on the status of shafts and audit and inform on all the artisanal mining activities in Ikolomani and Shinyalu sub-counties for further deliberations with the Cabinet Secretary for Mining on issues of licensing of artisanal mining activities, and of course in the said areas and the entire county. The second issue is we have multi-sectoral enforcement and compliance operations to ensure a strict adherence to this directive. And then, of course, number 3, the county departments for public service and county administrations and water, environment, natural resources, and climate change to immediately upscale sensitization and capacity building of artisanal miners on health, environmental, and occupational safety. On behalf of the people of Kakamega County, I wish to register our deepest condolences to the families that lost their loved ones and wish quick recovery to the survivors of the unfortunate incidents. I want to thank all the locals for collaborating with my officers of the County Disaster Multi-Sectorial Team in conducting the rescue mission. This is the end of my presser, but just in terms of highlighting on the key issues, I think the matters of safety are very crucial. This is an activity which, of course, as I've said in my statement, almost 15,000 livelihoods depend on mining activities. So our approach is to make sure that the issue of safety has been enhanced, and also to go further and have the opportunities of mining commercialized, so that these young men and women who are engaged in these economic activities conduct the mining in a safe environment. I think once we do that, then we are going to mitigate against some of those risks, because you cannot stop the mining pass. It's a source of livelihood, and that's why we are looking for a more safe and commercial way of doing the mining activities. Thank you. I can take 1 or 2 questions before we go back to the session, either on this one or on what is happening today.
A brief account of what is happening.
Well, as I said earlier today, we are gathered here with His Excellency the Deputy President and the President, of course, and the discussions are around looking at ways of serving Kenyans better. There are quite a number of issues that we're discussing, issues around legislation, of course, which are basically going to be addressed. What the President has directed is we should not be having cases between counties and the government. If, for example, you have those matters, I think he has given very clear direction that any offending bills that are not supporting devolution be withdrawn. And if there are any bills which have already been passed and, of course, are offending the devolution exercise, then he has directed they should be amended. But tomorrow we'll be having now the bigger conversation around revenues. And this is something that I want to believe we are going to have a resolution. The President is very enthusiastic. He has directed very clearly that we can only have development to achieve the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The focus will be on the counties. So he's very passionate about agriculture, issues around health, issues around water, and of course, lastly, the issue of the transfer of functions, which has given direction that in the next 6 months, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGRTC, should finalize on the transfer of functions and attend the resources. We are looking forward tomorrow. For now, a conversation around the Division of Revenue bill and question, and also around the issue of disbursement. He is very clear in his opening remarks that he wants the counties to have a reliable and predictable, and of course, disbursements which comply with the law. So as governors, we really want to welcome that commitment from the President, and we are looking forward to having a very good deliberation this afternoon and of course tomorrow, which of course will be the hallmark of all these 9 summits. Thank you. Sasa,